Hey homies, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, bringing you a deck review of the Fountain Tarot. So it took me quite a while to finally come around to thinking that maybe, just maybe, I could get a connection with the Fountain Tarot. And so I know that in videos past, I have said that, I couldn't understand what all the hoopla was about over this deck. That everybody was just in awe over the images. Excuse me. And when I saw the images online, I just wasn't connecting at all. And until recently, I saw some of the images and I'm like, um, I'll think about it. And so I saved up the money for it and I finally bought it. And I was like, well, there are a lot of people that are interested in this deck. So if it doesn't work out with me and the deck, then, I could just sell it. But obviously, it's still in my hot little hands. I'm doing this review because I love it. But it did take me a while to figure out how to use the deck. Not in how do I do tarot, but just in how does it work with me, with my energy. And I think that's with, any deck. You want to kind of figure it out. Okay. Sorry. Let me roll up my sleeves so we can get into this. Okay, so I always love the magnetic closures. It's just so fun. Okay, so if you look on the inside, and it's so iridescent, I hope the camera is picking that up. It says, "You are the voice and the breath of the universe." So, very poetic. Okay, so if you just live these cards out, I'm going to put those off to the side for a moment, and I'm going to pull out the book. And so you can kind of see in there it's very holographic. Okay. So this is just like the title card. What is going on with my little Kakeko? Okay, so this was created by Jonathan, I want to pronounce Sace, Jason Gruel, and Andy Todaro. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced anybody's name. Okay, and so there's the lovely backing that will be on all of the cards. Pastellies. It just reminds me of that whole Santa Fe pastels of the late 80s, early 90s. Seemed like everybody I knew's family had those colors. Okay, so let's take a look at the non-white booklet. Okay, so also has that holographicness to it, and it's kind of got this thick linen, I guess. It's kind of textured paper here. Okay, so it's got some information on about the artists. A little background on tarot, a little background on their cards, and then it has some spreads, and then it talks about the major and minor arcana. And so these aren't really pip cards, but they're pip-ish. I mean, they're kind of illustrated pips, I guess. And so it would behoove you to take a look-see, into the meanings of some of these cards, especially if you're struggling, with the deck and struggling to connect. Okay, and then I believe that's it. Yeah, so it just kind of went into the meanings and things like that. Okay, so let's put this back in. Don't be stuck. Be happy. Oh wait, I want to put the card in there first. Okay. Okay, we'll move that up and out of the way so we can look at our cards. And first of all, I will say the presentation is awesome. The box, the booklet, the shiny silver edging, the backs of the cards, amazeballs. Okay, so here we get into the art. Oops, let me just raise that up there. so these are paintings done on, I believe, using some of their friends as models. Okay, so I was going to tell you guys kind of how I connected to the deck, because at first I'm like looking at it and I'm like, you know, the images are pretty. I'll give them that. You know, I believe, you know, it's artistic rendering. It's beautiful. It is. But it's like what? You know, like when I was trying to read with it for myself, I was like, for the first time I needed help. Like, I haven't needed help in quite some time. You know, I've been reading tarot for a while and it's like, I need help. I don't know what it means. Until one day, you know, I've told you guys before that I carry my decks with me, you know, especially when they're brand new, so that we can, you know, mesh our energy together, get to know one another. And I had this deck with me while I was at work, and I had finished up at work, so I was just kind of sitting alone in my classroom, and I had some questions, and I was like trying to do a question and answer thing with my deck. And then I decided to reverse it because I remembered something that Daily Tarot Girl had done. And so I asked my deck if it had any questions for me. And that's when we connected. It was like, it's, for me, at least for me, it's a conversation deck. It's like sitting with a friend and being able to have a discussion with them. It's asking me questions, I'm asking it questions, and once I did that, like, we be homies. I mean, they're like a weird friend, but they're very truthful, very kind. Yeah, that's how I connected. So it's not a deck that I would do readings, or maybe, I don't know if you would call it readings. Like, I don't read with clients with it, and I don't even think I'd read per se with myself with it. It's more like when I need to work things out and I need somebody to talk to, like I talk to the deck. I know that sounds like what crazy people do. They talk to themselves. I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to a deck of cards. That's totally different, totally changed. So yeah, so that's just me. That's my little personal story about the Fountain Tarot. You know, like, let's say, you know, I was like, hey, what is it that you want to ask me today? And the death card comes up. So maybe it's asking me about what do I think about the transition that I'm currently going through, which actually makes a lot of sense because I am going through quite a bit of a spiritual transition. You know, so I talk to it a little bit, like let it know, you know, how do you think I'm doing in my spiritual transition? Then the High Priestess, let's say, comes up, and actually, wow, this is pretty uncanny because I think we're having a conversation right now. You know, it thinks I'm doing like pretty good. So hey, go me. You know, so that's how we'd have a little conversation. So I don't know, anybody watching this, you know, has anybody like had a conversation with their deck before? Have your deck ask you questions, and then you're like talking to it, and like it's like a two-way street. It's like pretty cool. Images are so pretty. Yeah, so this is a very unique deck for me. Definitely don't use it like I traditionally use my cards. There's me, I am the Empress. Alright, so there you go. Let me do a quick shuffle for you guys. It's got a nice smooth satiny finish, but it's not shiny at all. It's kind of a matte finish. Let's go ahead and shuffle. Oops. The card's flying out like what? I don't think I showed you guys, but you know, nice enough cardstock. I would say it's just kind of like the Wild Unknown, you know, in terms of cardstock. Very lovely. So this stick is new to me anyway, and I know other people it is not new to them, but I just thought I'd share my little story with you guys while showing you guys this beautiful work of art. Okay, so if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you know where to get that information. Go below, girlfriend and boyfriend. Okay, so I'll catch you all later. Peace out.